right, we'll go ahead and start Ford County Commission meeting. This is meeting 2024-23. And it is Thursday, July 18th. And first up, we have a prayer, followed by a pledge of allegiance. And we have Pastor Josh Smith of Cross Connection Church here with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Let's pray. God, just thank you for the commissioners and their leadership. God, we thank you for everyone who works with Ford County. And God, we're thankful for everyone who lives here. God, thank you for giving us a place to live and to provide for our families. Lord, as we discuss and approve and do different things today, Lord, would you guide our thoughts, our decisions, and Lord, would you really just continue to protect this county. We're thankful. We come with gratitude and just a thankfulness for you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Josh. Okay, first up is the consent agenda, and this has 6 items on here. We have the approval of meeting minutes 2024-20, 2024-21, the approval of a credit card statement, additions and abatements, the CDBG revolving loan fund semi-annual report. We have the school health nursing services contract, and we also have a proclamation, which is National Day of the Cowboy. I was thinking, did legal counsel send us something as well? Okay. Okay.
We needed to, I believe, possible amend the agenda for the KDH to review potential approval of the KDHE universal contract. If we can amend the agenda and all those. It's my understanding that that's been approved in the past, and it's just kind of streamlines the process of requesting grant funding and, stating that the county applies with applicable laws and preventing conflicts.
Yeah, I was thinking Herbs had sent that to us yesterday. Okay. So I make a motion to amend the agenda to add the KDHE aid to local program universal contract to the agenda.
Chairman, to the consent agenda, or is that?
Yes. Yeah, to the consent agenda.
I would second.
Okay, with the motion second, I'll call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now moving into the consent agenda. So this will be for the approval of meeting minutes 2024-20, 2024-21, the credit card statement, the additions and abatements, the revolving loan fund, the school health nursing services contract, the KDHE aid to local program universal contract, and the National Day of the Cowboy proclamation. That being said, I'll go ahead and bring forward the city we've got for the National Day of the Cowboy proclamation. They want to talk to us about that. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having us today.
Is it good to say the city, or should I say the Convention and Visitors Bureau, or both? Okay. All right.
Whereas pioneer men and women recognized as cowboys helped establish the American West. Whereas the cowboy spirit continues to influence the county with its solid character, sound family values, and good common sense. Whereas the cowboy embodies honesty, integrity, courage, compassion, respect, a strong work ethic, and patriotism. Whereas approximately 800,000 ranchers are conducting businesses in all 50 states and are conducting to the economic well-being of nearly every county in the nation, making the Cowboys an excellent steward of the land and its creatures. And whereas the Cowboy is an American icon, the cowboy traditions have long been part of the American landscape and culture, and today's cowboys and cowgirls continue to strive to preserve this unique element of American heritage. And whereas to recognize the American cowboy, to acknowledge an ongoing commitment of the United States to be esteemed and enduring code of conduct. And whereas the ongoing contribution made the cowboys to their communities should be recognized and encouraged.
Now therefore be resolved that Dodge City and Fort County supports the Senate of the United States in a quest to designate and celebrate the fourth Saturday in every July, every year. And this year designates July 27, 2024 as National Day of the Cowboy. Be it further resolved that the Convention of Visitors Bureau will hold a mustache contest and celebration of July 27th from 12 to 12:45 during the Dodge City Days Party in the Park in observation of National Day of the Cowboy, and encourages the people of Dodge City, Fort County, and the United States to observe the day with appropriate ceremonies and activities. All right.
If you have any questions, but thank you for your time, we really appreciate it. This year we get to actually celebrate with our Western Heritage as we start to kick that off next week, so thank you so much.
So we still have a couple of days to grow our mustaches out.
Yes, yes.
All right. Some pretty good looking ones in this room. Okay. Any questions on the consent agenda?
I do not. Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
And I'll second that. And with the motion second, I'll go ahead and call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Up next is approval of claims for payment. This is the amount of $1,734,448.35.
Make a motion to approve the claims for payment as presented.
I'll also second that. The motion second, any further discussion on it?
Explain to everybody the bond payments that were.
We have bond
This
payments
amount.
for the Expo Center, for the Compass, Behavioral Health, and the Health Department.
Okay.
All right. I'll go ahead and call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay. Part of the meeting where it is open public comments, please limit to 5 minutes per individual, 15 minutes per topic, unless an emergency situation does occur. The microphone is open, and feel free to tell us who you are and what you'd like to discuss with the commission.
Gentlemen, Justin Cloudis, Lee, Kansas. You're well aware who I am. You're probably just as tired of hearing my name and about what I'm here to talk about as I am talking about it.
Wouldn't be a road, would it?
Not at all. Maybe you guys want to write this down so you'll remember. 118 from Saddle to Clark County, absolutely trash. It's a third world country road. That's the best way to describe it. Wilburn, 118 to at least the Kingsdown Blacktop. Same story, impassable. That road alone has millions of dollars of oil coming off of it. I would absolutely be ashamed to send an oil truck down that road. This is hearsay. I've talked to friends, so I'm relaying this. X Road south of Kingsdown east is terrible. Yucca, from 283 to 105 and beyond. I have 2 circles between 106 and 105 road that I rent. It's impassable right now. It's four-wheeler only, go down that road. There's been no ditch spraying down in our part of the county, no. Yucca Road hasn't been mowed, 118 hasn't been mowed. I'm tired of spending my own money to take care of the ditches. I spend an enormous amount of money taking care of the ditches to keep a bindweed out of my fields. The township, Bloom Township, has contacted multiple times to contract having the ditches sprayed, and it's always the same song and dance. Yep, we'll send you the paperwork, we'll sign you up, no problem, and nothing. I know for a fact that money's been paid out, and nothing's ever happened. I have family that's from the township. I'll acknowledge now, Mr. Tassett's the only one that's ever returned a phone call or email to me. I've called county administrator's office, I've called Road and Bridge, and all I ever get is, we'll call you back. I've called multiple times, sent multiple emails. Mr. Tassett's the only one to acknowledge. So the newest deal on 118 in Wilburn that I know, he finally got it right. He's pulling material, but he's created new ditches. There is a ditch running along the ditch. There's no working ditch any longer. I don't know what the big deal is with pulling dirt out of the ditches, but apparently it's a pretty big deal because these guys haul, I don't know how many loads of dirt down from the landfill, I'm guessing. There's trash all over the roads now. To build the road up between Wrangler and X. So it does this now. So my suggestion is it's time to hire Max Jantz to come build a road or two. It's beyond any scope of Ford County's repair at this time. I did take the liberty, spent a little bit of time of figuring out property taxes in a 5-mile stretch from X to Warrior. Approximately $60,000 property taxes paid. $18,000 property taxes paid by my family in Ford County. This goes beyond my equipment, vehicles traveling these roads. How's the county gonna feel ambulance wrecks out, fire truck? I'm a firefighter. I respond with Bloom. How's the county gonna feel one of us wrecks an emergency rig, the sheriff deputies going down that road? It's an artery to the southern end of Ford County. Should have been paved back in the 70s when they set the money aside to do it. That's fact. They come in, they moved everybody's fences, they put in bridges and culverts, and it never got done. I don't know if we're out of money, need a money manager. You know, I always hear the excuse that help can't get help. Is HR doing their job? I mean, are we not paying enough wages to hire people away? It's the same deal. I know there's plenty of firefighters and sheriff's deputies that have second jobs, and I know for a fact that some of them would be happy to go run the road crew. So I don't see the I'm not a HR person. I don't see the problem in letting one of them guys, if they need extra hours, go work over there, road and bridge. Bottom line is it got a bearing out. He's put grease on that bearing that's out. Nothing's getting done. And I'm gonna make my best effort until changes are seen. I'll be at every meeting and you guys will see me up here at every public.
And you're welcome.
I know it. I mean, I've offered to come give rides. I'll come pick you up. And I guarantee you guys wouldn't drive down this road very long. I guarantee it. And I'm pretty fed up driving my hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment up and down. You drop a sweep transport tire off in that ditch, very well kiss $10,000 goodbye. If you guys gonna pay it? Nope. That's exactly right. Guess who gets to eat it? Me.
Yeah.
So, hope to see some changes, guys.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Thank you. You got any questions for me?
I think we got it.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Sheriff, coming up, talk about roads again?
No,
Keep the joke going.
more to keep you up to date, informed. Been meeting with some of the city forefathers on US 283, 5056 intersection over at Unionville.
So it is roads.
Huh? Being South KDOT still hasn't reached out, had any conversations with them, so I figured we'll at least keep a conversation going here. We made a promise to the family victims of the most recent tragic accident over there, so, you know, the city's done quite a bit of research. We're talking about some minor repairs or things that we see that could at least possibly alleviate or slow down incidents, accidents, and potentially not have another death. So just some signage, some painting of roads, highways, turn lanes, flashing stop signs north and south on both sides of the roadway, reduced speed ahead signs. We're looking at just some minor things that can probably be done literally in a day's time.
With our team, or you're saying?
The city's even offered to do it, but just, so we went ahead and got some just rough estimates on prices for this stuff, the poles, the signs, and we're under $40,000. So I just think that we need to continue to have that conversation, and
Where do we stand on our
and that's where I'm
legal
at.
ability to go
Yeah.
do it? Can we go reduce the speed limit through there?
Well, and that's my thing, you know, putting a sign up, no driving on shoulder, no passing on the right. There's some things that the district engineer, my understanding, he can make that decision. But I'm tired of getting the excuse that, well, we're working on it. Well, if one person has that authority, that sole authority, let's verify that somehow, and let's get the ball rolling. And we owe it to the citizens of this county, more importantly, and every citizen that drives through this stretch of the county. We've documented, we've got all the calls, the accidents, the deaths. It's not getting any better. We've got a plant that's getting ready to open up that's going to create more truck traffic in the area. So something needs to happen. Like I said, I want to keep you guys informed. I'm not going to give up on it. It's not right. We're going to try to get a camera up there to hopefully get some videos. We can record some videos of near misses or near accidents as well. I don't know what else we can do to provide the information to them, but I'm not seeing they're not doing anything. So we have to continue to provide them with, use our resources. I guess that's what we do. Outside of that, maybe reaching out to our local representatives again and seeing if they can poke the bear a little bit. Unfortunately, I think we're at the point where we need to get outside of our district engineer and go above him to see if we can get something done. He hasn't reached out to me. I don't know if he's reached out to JD or
No.
any of you commissioners, so, or Chief Floyd. I mean, like I said, I can sit up here and tell you that neither one of us, I know Kyle's here too, none of us like picking up bodies and having to go do death notifications and stuff, so. This is, we know this is in Fort County, so I think we need to do what we can, or where we can to try to get this resolved.
Yeah, I think their latest, I think agreement we were trying to come across is just slowing that traffic down through there until they make the R cut or the J cut or the roundabout or whatever they're thinking they're gonna
Yeah.
do, which we know is gonna be years out.
And that's what I'm saying, this is what we're asking, what we've identified are some minor adjustments. You know, if they can reduce the speed, then put a message board out there, reduce speed ahead, leave it there for a few weeks so that people get acclimated to the new speed limits.
The no
do
passing
away
on the
with the
right.
passing on the right.
Yeah.
So people know that, you know, 'cause we've had accidents with that rear ends. People stop to make a north turn up 283, and there's all sorts of scenarios, but these are things that can alleviate. Stop signs, obviously, lighting, that was another thing. Put some more lighting in the intersection. It's different when you drive through there at night. You have a light pole in the northeast corner. I can't have them on four corners. A flashing light at the intersection like we used to have down here at Old Richland Valley. You know, flashing yellow light, caution. We're not, what we've identified here aren't expensive fixes. This is short term, even if it's short term, at least let's invest in our community. Any questions on that?
So you had, like, is that guesswork from, like, maybe Victory or other people?
No, I've
So-
got some of the cities, just the poles. Oh, Victory's, yeah, that is Victory's. Victory, we got a rough estimate of $20,000 on theirs for the poles and the lights, wiring and arms. But then the stop sign beacons, solar beacon and stuff that we were looking at on our end, a little over $18,000. So that's what I'm saying. We're under $40,000 that we're looking at. The city manager said, you know, the city they've got a crew, they've got a paint truck.
Yeah.
They can paint the lines, if that's an issue. The labor, I mean, putting up stop signs, we're looking at stuff maybe 4 hours of work.
Yeah. And then I guess it just comes down to is do we have the authorization to
Yeah.
do work on a road that's not
Or
ours?
can we put in a request to do it?
Put in a request, but
Will we get a response?
Not to the point where we don't ask.
Yeah.
Just do
It's
it,
just-
we'll do it. And if it's wrong, I guess let them sue us and tell us it's wrong. But
I guess try to sue us for doing something that's right for the citizens,
that's trying to save lives down there.
which is what we're trying to do.
When it seems like they have just refused to do that.
Yeah. Well, it's not a topic that just got brought up this year, so it's been in discussion for quite some time, but we're trying to see it. Next subject, I've got, had a conversation. It's a riverbed issue, pertains to firearms and shooting. So, the chief of police just sent me an email just here a little bit ago. We done a 5-year, he pulled some stats from just his office, from the police department, in the last 5 years, and they've got 50 documented calls, just where his office has responded to, either shots fired or, damage to residents. Most of within the riverbed, doesn't include any of my calls, doesn't include any of Wildlife and Parks calls down into the riverbed. But most recently, what sparked this again, what authority, if any, does the county have to create a safety corridor? My thinking is from 14th Street, I think the city limit runs from 14th Street east. I'm sure it's just probably down close to 56, somewhere in that area. McCausland, I think, is where the city limits in the riverbed is.
Right.
So outside of that, we've got 2 main areas where we have people going and shooting, target practicing or whatever.
And are you talking about hunting as well?
Not well, this would incorporate that, what I'm talking about. But recently, the city got dispatched to a house in the city limits that had a bullet that went through the exterior wall, interior wall, through a cabinet, through a TV, and lodged into another wall. With people in the house. Believed to have come out of the riverbed, out west of town. So, obviously a safety issue. Here just a few years ago, we had a young man east of Dodge off Coronado Bridge, north, on a horseback, at work, and he took a round to his leg from the riverbed. So, what can we do, if anything at all? I've reached out to Mr. Curbs to do some research. what I'm proposing is if we can do it, a safety corridor from the city limits, 14th Street west to about 107, or what you consider 107. That would incorporate Kettle Way, all the residences out there just south of 50. You know, there's couple hundred people live out in that area. So they would incorporate that, and it would also catch the houses on the south side within the city limits, and a couple of farmers in Ford County off of Beeson Road, Marshall.
Okay.
So,
And what would you say in this space?
no firearms.
Like it's a,
It's a firearm, just firearms free zone. No discharge of any firearm within this safety corridor.
could still carry one?
We
Or if
carry
they had
one,
a
it's just
vehicle that had one in
discharge.
there?
Yeah,
I would rather that.
yeah, I'm just looking at no discharging of firearms.
Very good.
I don't want to interfere with anybody's recreational, but the firearms part, I mean, we've got houses getting bullet holes in them, roofs, and probably vehicles, I mean, who knows what hasn't been reported.
Right.
But, so we've got that, and then out east at the Coronado Bridge, from 117 Road, maybe a mile east. Again, cover the elevator on the south side, and then there's 3 or 4 houses right in there. You can cover them, so you would have shooting one to the south, and then of course, we have the feed lot, the house at the intersection of 400 and 117 on the north side, so kind of.
So what would this be if somebody was caught down there doing this?
Well, that's the other thing Glenn's looking into, is what penalty could we enforce?
Yeah.
So, but again,
So you're working with legal counsel
it's
on?
working with legal counsel, we're trying to pull up,
Areas, signage,
Yeah.
notification, and enforcement?
well, right now, we gotta figure out what we can, if anything. Because again, you know, it's considered a navigable waterway under federal standards, which is the federal government deeded down to the state of Kansas, so do we have any authority to do anything? Is where we're at. But again, I want to bring it to you all to let you know that there are concerns that are rising. We're getting more calls down there, and obviously, if you get the city with just 50 alone, still.
I would say, Sheriff, that I'd want to limit it as much as we can,
Yeah,
so that we're not intruding on hunting and things like that.
yeah,
The other thing is, you want to limit it specifically to firearms, so that if somebody is hunting, say in the railroads area with a bow and arrow, they're okay to still do that.
yeah.
That-
Well, and that's the area, yeah.
You got different.
You know, I didn't even look at that area. We haven't had, I'm not aware of having any calls in that area. But the 2 designated spots that we are full aware of is off the Coronado Bridge and down here at Mantown and South Park.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think it's a bad idea to explore. I just want to be,
yeah,
I want to be super,
conscious
just
of
keep it as
everybody's
compact
rights.
as we possibly can.
Yeah, no, and that's what I had the discussion with Billy. I'm not here to infringe upon anybody's rights, but right now we have a safety issue.
Yeah.
And is it for a period of time? Like, do you do something like that where it's just, hey,
Year round.
well, I was just thinking if you put light on this, maybe then it, I don't know, stops the horseplay, and then it gets back to maybe a serious dad trying to teach his son how to shoot.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've been out there several times, and, you know, the bank on the south side, there's a pretty high bank, and the house that got hit, it went over the bank. So, but, I mean, they dug it out, they've got tracks down in there, 4-wheelers, razors, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
but there's also a boat that somebody drove down there and burned up and shot up. There's a couple cars down there now that have been shot up. And so, tires, carcasses, just full of that area again.
Wait till we get done with the speed, there'll be more tires.
Yeah. So, like I said, just looking at other things that we could do, potentially save, you know, citizens. I think that's the big thing right there. You know, the house that took the round, they had my understanding there was a young child in the house, and the house was afraid to go outside.
Wow.
They're also afraid to stay in the house, when the bullet actually got in the house.
All right, then
But-
we have you coming up here in just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Sheriff.
All right, microphone is still open if anybody else wants to discuss anything. Seeing no takers, we'll move on. We have no unfinished business, no legal counsel on this meeting, so I will turn it over to the county administrator's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first item is for the revenue neutral rate. It's for Pat Freeze, Kennedy
Okay, so basically what we talked about in the work session, set it at 47,742, and then we're going for September.
So I guess for anybody who's watching this, maybe at home or in the audience that wasn't here for the work session, we did have a work session on this item and discussed the two different districts that we oversee. One is Fort County, the other one is the Rural Fire District. And this is the revenue neutral rate discussion. So the board is trying to decide whether or not they'll, what to set the mill levy at, because in the future, when this thing actually gets figured out with the numbers, we can't go above that number. We could always come below that number, and we're still early on trying to figure out valuation, because that always is a moving target.
Basically setting the ceiling.
Yeah, setting the ceiling. So currently what's being proposed is 47 mills for the Ford County and 7.2 for the Rural Fire District. And then a date of September 16th at 3:30.
Yep.
Does
I'm
this-
sorry, the date again, 9/16.
September 16th, 3:30, that'll be Monday. This can be all done in one motion, I would assume, because it's one county issue.
Well, fire district work, you guys are two different.
Right.
We don't have the fire doing any today. Okay.
But, I mean,
So I would make,
yeah, I'm not sure.
I think you're just alerting the clerk.
I just need you.
we just need to set the date and time, right? I'd make a motion that we approve September 16th, 3:30 for the revenue neutral rate hearing.
Those bills.
Proposed mills, 47 mills for the county budget, and 7.2 mills for the rural fire.
I'll second it. With motion second, any discussion on this? Hearing none, I'll call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks for sticking around.
You bet.
Next item is Southwest Area Agency on Aging.
Afternoon.
My name is Michelle Pizzolio, and I'm the new executive director of the Southwest Kansas Area Agency on Aging, and also the Ford County Housing Authority. So I'm here today to ask for your assistance with these certifications for our annual plan, our one-year annual plan, as well as our five-year annual plan, same certification, to demonstrate that we are consistent with the county's consolidated plan. As new as I am, I'm not exactly sure what your consolidated plan looks like, but I know that you signed the papers last year when HUD's first started requesting that we complete these certifications that have to be submitted with our plan.
Okay.
So you're saying there's no change then to the plan from last year to this?
Right.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion that we approve the Southwest Kansas Area Agency on Aging Public Housing Authority annual and five-year plans.
I'll second that. We'll open up for discussion. Michelle, how long have you had this role?
I
further questions, so I'll go ahead and call a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you, motion passes.
Thank you so much.
Next item is for road and bridge, do a request for bids.
Welcome back. I'm asking to go to bid to replace the machinery. The first is the mini excavator, and the second is the new sign truck.
And the mini excavator, would it be replacing any equipment you currently have?
More or less be replacing the backhoe that is aged out
Yep.
mechanically. Not working.
I'd make a motion that we approve the request to go out for bids on the mini excavator.
I would second.
With a motion second, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, motion passes on that. Tell us about the sign truck.
Sign truck is the same thing. It's go out for a replacement of the sign truck. Currently, it's 10 years old, but it's not functioning right now. So,
Okay. And on your thought for like sign trucks, what you actually had mentioned earlier in the work session, you think you have a 20-year plan.
Right. So
Versus this one's 10 years old.
So in the past, they went and bought captain chassis pickups, put a flatbed on it, and then went and purchased all the equipment and had a bad shop here in town, more or less built.
Okay.
What I'm proposing is we buy a specific built truck and then be able to reuse the bed through different cab chassis.
Okay.
That's the most expensive part of it. Like, the machinery itself is the hydraulic arms, the boxes, the bed, the lighting kits. The chassis, I mean, you can buy every 5 years.
Yeah, swap it out.
Keep bodies.
It works for fire and EMS chief on his ambulances. I don't know why we couldn't do something like that on this.
More or less the boxes and equipment I spec'd out was the same equipment that's on fire trucks and ambulances. It doesn't show any doors, the toolboxes. The only thing that's different is the hydraulic arm and the hydraulic arm that is specific to what it does.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve to go out for bids to replace the sign truck.
And second.
All right, with a motion second, I'll call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Next item is for landfill director Rito Verde.
Good afternoon again.
How are you doing? Welcome. I had people from the audience text me when you were up earlier asking if it was time to replace a hat.
I found this one in the landfill.
You are kidding me. Man, I knew there had to be a story.
It didn't hit the landfill, so it's called recycled.
All right.
Disposal rate increase, we'll start with that. So I did give this information the first bill around. It's 40 tons a quarter, so it's 160 tons a year in tires. that we take.
Okay. That makes a little more sense.
Yeah,
I
I did
was
look
really
at-
surprised that
Yeah.
that number was that low.
I did look at my information and it says 40 tons a
I was
quarter.
like, man, I'm the only guy bringing tires to the landfill.
Yeah. We actually have a special line item just for you.
If you look at that Cordova Bridge, you are the only one.
So currently we are charging $3.50 for passenger tires, $5 for truck tires, and $40 for off-road tires. We do have a couple more in here. Another one that I wanted to highlight was shredded tires. When they bring in shredded tires, we charge it per ton, which is an incentive for people to bring it already shredded, which cuts down major on our labor.
Do you have someone locally that shreds tires? Like, is there a business that's doing that?
There's Arc Valley, which is out of Montezuma,
Okay.
and then
there's Buckland Tire Recycler, which is
Yeah.
Revolution Tire, there you go. Revolution.
I think it'd be interesting, if you get somebody who's like a heavy user, it's almost like maybe a savings for them if they pass it on and got a quote from one of these guys to get their work done, and just brought you to Tire.
We have been in talks with them.
Yeah.
They do have, the Art Valley guy has a bigger machine than the one we have currently. And it would actually pay, it would zero out and then he would basically dump for free.
Yep.
Is where we're at right now.
Can that be used as cover?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so currently we're charging 36 a ton for waste?
Waste.
Do you want to talk about that side of it too?
Okay. We can talk about
Since it's kind of like all one thing.
Right. I like talking about the tire and the common disposal differently because of how much labor there is in common disposal.
We can go back to the tire and talk about what you're proposing.
So my proposal for the tire side is to increase it from $350 to $750 per tire. Right now, people nearby are charging $10 per passenger tire and $20 per truck tire. So I'm proposing $750 for passenger and $10 for truck tire. And for shredded tire, it would be going from $17 to $30 per ton.
Okay. Enough. What you're proposing as 40?
No. Right now, we're at, currently, shredded tire is at $17 per ton. And we would be going to $30.
And then on the truck tire or the off-road tire, what would that be looking at?
Off-road would be going from 40 to 60.
And what do you think our local area charges for those? Like
They
other-
don't even take them.
They don't?
They don't. We're the only place that is smart enough to take them.
Okay. All right.
So now we can jump into common disposal.
Let's go for it.
Right now, we are charging $36 a ton on the tipping fee.
If it's residential and commercial?
Correct. It's flat across the board. My proposal is going to a two-part tipping fee, where commercial pricing would be at $40 per ton, and residential would be at $45.
And to continue into residential, you'd made a comment about being under 100 tons for that person
Right.
per calendar year?
Yes.
Okay.
They would be averaging 100 tons per year average.
And regionally, you said a lot of our competition is north of $60, where you're proposing to move it from 36 to 40.
Right, the Midwest region, which includes from Wisconsin to us, that area, there, that average is 62.02 per ton. Up in the eastern parts, they're almost at $90 per ton. Maryland, New Hampshire, just because land is so scarce.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the rate increase as recommended.
And I'll second that. Any further discussion?
I would just say, we're making a substantial increase now,
Correct.
and we're close to 8 years out since the last time that we did.
Correct.
And maybe we need to visit this in 4 years again rather than in 8 years to see that we're kind of staying with
With the time.
staying in line with the times that are in the regional averages and stuff like that.
Exactly. I think this.
So it's not quite as much of a shock to the system whenever,
That's shell shock is what we're gonna have
this coming way. I think if we add kind of a small taper, I think that would be a lot more beneficial for all of us.
Are we gonna, do you have a date to implement?
I was proposing for it to start January 1st, 2025.
Not right away.
Not immediately. That would give everybody plenty of time to get their ducks in a row, get their pricing right, and then we would implement January 1st.
Mr. Chairman, if I can amend my motion to reflect the January 1st start date.
Sure. I would still second that. I guess for discussion, that's a long lead time. I mean,
There's quite a few accounts that we have, and
They're contracted.
They're really dependent on our pricing to not change. So this is giving them the opportunity so that down the road, they're not losing their customers right away either. They could ramp up their prices slowly, so that it's not as bad for them.
Gives them some lead time to let their customers know what's coming too.
Yep.
all right, so we have a motion and a second on that. We've had some discussion. Any further discussion on that? All right, I'll call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. So you got one more?
The schedule?
Yep.
The landfill
Yeah, that's
schedule?
right.
I was proposing to change from every Saturday from 7 to 10:30 and changing it to first and third Saturday, 7 to 3 p.m. I believe that would help the community have more time to prepare their loads that they're bringing out, so we're not losing as much trash. Have that morning to clean up, bring it out here. That would also help people that work at the meat packing plants to get off the road, come out here, not such in a rush.
What are you thinking about implementing something like this if this was to pass today? Is your thought immediate?
No, it would be also January, because we would have to change our FOP,
Okay.
so, and get that approved. We'd have to get our schedules, the social media would have to be out there so that they start understanding that January 1st we'll have first and third 8 hours, 8-hour days instead of 3.5 hours.
Okay. Can you help me out with FOP again?
It's our facility operation plan.
And that goes to the state? Or-
Yes, the government has to know about it, KDHE has to know about it.
All right. I make a motion that we approve the work schedule change of the landfill to reflect January 1st, 2025.
I would second.
Motion second, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rico.
Thank you.
Next time is for the sheriff.
Hey, welcome back.
I'm back. First off, I got a couple items here. We had had discussions, looks like back in July, we had some extras. Some of our used vehicles, you know, had been rented on Purple Waves, and I had sold one to Spearville. Turned out well. So I sold another one to Pawnee County here recently. Above average in price, so we have 17,000 out of that. So what I have today is I have another county that would like to buy two more that we have before we go up to the auction. Probably save us some money because I still haven't stripped them down yet, so I'm just gonna sell them as is. They need some repairs. They came and looked at them. They're good with it. I told them it's an as-is deal. For two of them, they were willing to pay us $16,000 a piece, so if you're good with that. Barton County.
And what year are those? Is that the 2019?
Yeah, they're 18 or 19 chargers.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the sale of the Dodge Chargers to Martin County
Yeah, Martin County Sheriff.
as requested.
All right, I'll second that.
We'll get that done probably this week or next, or maybe paperwork on that. And then,
All right, so with the motion second, I'll go ahead and call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
thank you, gentlemen. Next up, I need, asking for permission to go out for bids for 2 transport vans. It's been a while, we put that on hold for a while. These are the ones that get the high miles. I think we're upwards around 150, 160,000 on right now, so.
Are these still minivans?
Yeah, yeah, so we need to try to start getting them off the road. We could use 3, but I kind of budgeted with the inflation that we've seen lately. We'll be good with 2. I'll try to get the other next year.
So under county vehicle requests here, the second thought would be that you need us to approve you going out
Yeah, just need to go out
for.
for bid for two transport vans.
All right, I make a motion to approve Sheriff's Office to go out for vehicle bids on 2 transport vans.
I'm not opposed to seconding this, except where we have on the agenda with this.
What I'm looking at is it's county vehicles request, what's that?
It's not on the agenda.
Right.
It's just under county vehicle request?
Yep. Same topic.
Okay.
I can bring it back next meeting if you want it.
Well, I think I got a little problem with that. I mean, we've got this agenda here for folks to be able to follow along, and we don't have everything on that about what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Other than it just being county vehicles, that's the only thing I saw as
Yeah.
same topic.
Well, we got a, information here, proposed motion about selling these to Martin County, but I don't have anything else, sure, sorry. If we can,
I'll put it back on next month or next meeting.
if we put it on the next meeting, or even if we want to go back to the amend it, fix it, but we're, how much of a time pitch does that put you in?
Bid process.
Because the next time would be the 5th of August.
Yeah. No, we'll be good.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I can make one if I have to.
Sorry about that.
No, nobody is.
Okay.
But they have to know we're down.
Thanks.
All right.
In my world.
Thank you, Sharon.
You good?
Yep.
Next item is Rancho South.
I'm here this afternoon because I would like to transfer the 2000 Dodge Durango that we have to the IT department.
You have a newer vehicle, correct? And what, it's a Tahoe?
Yes.
And that's what year, do you remember? 15, 17, somewhere in that range?
No, it's a more than
20,
21.
okay, so it's a 20. So we've just hung on to this one for a while?
Yeah, we still use both of them.
Okay.
Some of them go, out into the community to provide services sometimes, so both of them we use at the same time.
Okay.
I know this is confusing now, this is gonna fit together further on.
Okay.
It will, the next item, then it will, the puzzle will come together.
All right.
But I would just like to transfer one that we have, the Dodge Durango, to the IT department.
Okay.
So this vehicle is a fairly old vehicle here. We're
Yeah.
talking about something that's 24 years old already. Working good and everything's all right with it?
Yeah, we took good care of it.
Pretty low mileage on it?
Yes, under 100.
Wow.
See?
All right, well, I would make a motion to approve the transfer of the county health vehicle. And who did you say, oh, IT?
To the IT department.
IT department, that's your question.
Yes.
I will second that.
Thank you.
And I'll call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item is for Bree Barber. She is standing in for signing today.
All right, I agree.
Follow up on the vehicle. It's my understanding that at the last board meeting, we were granted permission to put the RAV on Purple Wave. However, Angela and Sonia had a conversation about interest in her purchasing that.
Okay.
So we'd like to pursue that if that's possible.
Now, real quick, I know you might have questions about why one department is buying the vehicle from another. These RAV4s were originally purchased by Gray County in 2014, something like that. So when they consolidated services, that ownership was moved over to Santa Fe Trails. But those vehicles were still bought by state dollars. So we can't make that transfer without a purchase.
Okay,
And that RAV4 will replace the Durango.
that's being transferred to IT.
That's right.
All right.
Sheriff, you just want to get something transferred in, or?
I've transferred most of mine to other departments, so.
So
Greater advantage.
we just need to rescind and make a motion to rescind the previous motion that authorized the auction.
And then you can do a second motion. You can do it all in one motion.
Yeah, I
Two
would say
motions
keep it
would be-
going.
Two motions would be cleaner, probably.
Is this going to be a negotiated process then, or what, they got a?
They've
It's already done.
They already have. We haven't made any transfers or spent.
No, I mean, but the amount is all agreed on and all that
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
Okay, well, let me change my motion then. I would make a motion that rescinds the authorization of going to auction with the RAV4 and authorizes the sale from Santa Fe Trail Community Corrections to the health.
Perfect.
All right. Scroll one for the tacit.
Second it. We'll see where this goes. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Oh, yeah, she has the next two items.
Yep.
She's gonna stay right here.
Oh, yes. Santa Fe Trails comes in, they
It's
can-
always a moment.
They can dominate an agenda, I'm telling you.
It's not a challenge.
Good man.
All right, Bree, tell us what you got.
Okay, so the first thing I have is the 24 Adult Community Corrections year-end outcome report. This is just kind of summarizing our progress for the year. Maybe you guys put that over.
Yeah. I'd make a motion that we approve the fiscal year 24 adults community corrections year-end outcome report as presented.
I would second.
With a motion second, I'll call a vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. On to the next one.
The second one I have is for the juvenile community corrections year-end outcome report, which is basically the same thing, our goals and progress for the year.
Make a motion that we approve fiscal year 24 juvenile year-end October 4.
Second that. I'll call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, third one.
Okay, next I have the fourth quarter delinquency prevention program progress. These are the three programs that are funded through the delinquency prevention grants. So we have the intake diversion program, 68 total participants for the year. Divert, which is our truancy program, there's 89 total participants for the year. The immediate intervention program, which has 86 total participants for the year.
Is that up or is that normal?
That's pretty normal. We fluctuated a little bit throughout the year, but it's starting to see an increase again.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the fiscal year 24 fourth quarter delinquency prevention program endorsed.
I will second that. And with the motion second, I'll call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
The 25 amended adult budget. So after we had already submitted the grant, we were notified of additional funding on 5/20 from KDOC, the amount of $120,256 just for the adult services. And this is to be used for another bilingual ISO, or client services, transportation, housing, and treatment.
Did they acknowledge how that dollar amount got awarded? Like it had to be kind of like line items across?
Right, yeah, so there was a specific amount that had to be designated here and a specific that had to be designated there, and that's how we.
Get that dollar amount? Okay. I would make a motion that we approve the fiscal year 25 amended adult budgets to receive the additional funds of $120,256.81.
I would second.
With the motion second, I'll call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes.
Thank you.
Bree, you did great.
Everybody's turn.
That went way too fast. Good afternoon. I've got two agreements that are actual memorandum of agreement. One is for 911 failover, where essentially our 911 calls, if they go unanswered for a certain period of time, or if there's a system failure, they'll be routed over to Hardin County. That's the first agreement.
So I make a motion to adopt. What's our resolution number, David?
It's not a resolution,
Oh.
it's just agreement.
All right. I'd make a motion to adopt the agreement between Ford County and Harvey County as presented.
I will second that. For discussion, I just think this is really smart that we're backing ourselves up.
My question is there reciprocal for if
They go down.
Harvey goes down, is that a?
No, they have other plans.
Okay,
This is purely a one-way outbound.
just for us to.
Just for us to.
Okay.
All right, I'll call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, the second agreement is a functionally identical memorandum of agreement between ourselves and Douglas County. This one is bidirectional, so they would send calls to us and we would send calls to them. And then it also leaves some room in the future for future amendments and agreements. There's a lot more information and data sharing and things that we're looking to partner on. So I think the intent was to make sure that we have a more structured agreement list. So that's why the difference.
Okay.
Functionally, they're the same agreement.
But if they go down, if Douglas would go down, we would then dispatch for them.
Correct. Well, we would take their 911 calls.
as far as dispatching, I guess there's two parts, right? There's the actual call taking, and there's the dispatching, which sends the units. With Douglas, there's a high possibility that it could be a full failover situation to take the call if dispatch wants to be in an extreme
Yeah.
circumstance.
And again, this is just an agreement, not a resolution. I make a motion that we adopt the emergency service agreement between Ford County and Douglas County.
Second.
Call vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Next item is for Human Resources Director, Vanessa. So,
Vanessa?
Low. All right, my first change would be for policy series 303, workers' comp insurance. The Kansas governor signed into law various changes to the state workers' comp system that's to take effect on 7/1/24. And this insurance provides a cash benefit for, cash benefits and or medical care for the workers that get injured on the job. And so, this change, I'm requesting that the number that we currently have in our workers' comp insurance policy to be changed from 500 to 800 to be compliant with the changes.
I make a motion that we approve the policy changes as presented.
Second.
They make a motion, second, I'll call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
My second request is for the leave donation program, and the purpose of this program is for county employees to come to aid their fellow coworkers. And this bank allows employees to make requests for medical emergencies and major disasters. And I'm asking to give employees the option to make direct donations to their coworkers. Still, run through the same process, request paperwork, just that they have a say on who they want to receive the donations.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the employee leave sharing program update to the policy as presented.
I'll second it. And with motion second, any further discussion? I think for me, sitting in a chair like this, I can see how that's a benefit. I just want to, I think in my mind, it's like you don't want to play favoritism. And I think that's almost what when I read it, that's almost what it feels like. If that makes sense. Like, I'll give because I like this person, but I won't give because I don't like the other person. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just an oddity, I guess, from sitting on this side of the desk where we try and make things very neutral, very fair. But it's also something that I've never been part of. I've never.
well, it happens the other way too. So when you have to leave bank, it's basically anonymous.
Right.
So a lot of staff won't donate if they don't know who it's going to.
Right.
That's been a barrier for a lot of folks.
That's what people most commonly tell me
Yeah.
is that.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second on the leave donation program. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The next two items are for county clerk Lieutenant Cox.
The first item
is it is time to destroy the ballots for the primary election of 2022 and the 2023 elections. I have per statute 252708. The commissioners need to appoint a person from each party to witness that. I recommend that Nicole Nagel for the Republican Party and Martha Oliveris for the Democrat Party be assigned. I do have it scheduled for the 26th of July to be destroyed.
Nicole Nagel and who?
Martha Oliveris.
I make a motion that we approve destroying the 2022 primary ballots and the 2023 election ballots.
General elections.
General. Okay. Amend that to say the 2023 general election ballots as requested. And the appointment of Nicole Nagel and Martha Oliveris.
I'll second.
I'll call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next one, gentlemen, mileage reimbursement. The county's always followed what the state has done. I was informed, I believe it was last week, the state has raised mileage rates to 67 miles, or 67 cents per private automobile rates, 65 cents for motorcycles, $1.76 per mile for private owned airplanes, and 21 cents per mile for moving mileage rates. I'm asking the commissioners to approve that. It would change that from 65.5 cents for mileage.
Making it effective immediately or first of August.
I'd say immediately.
Does the state normally update these like July 1?
That's usually what they run, and they show that they updated it starting January 1st, but they don't say that they go back and prorate that back. So they usually do it around January or July is when we usually send it out to the state.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve updating the county mileage reimbursement rates from 65.5 cents to 67 cents per mile.
Any date?
I think I wrote it out first of August.
Okay. I'll second that, and I'll call a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
The upcoming meetings, we have the Ford County Fair, that will be July 18th through the 23rd. We have Dodge City Days, July 6th through August 4th. Dodge City Roundup Rodeo, July 30th through August 4th. We have the election schedule, canvassing those for County Clerk Larry Cox.
We have started in-office voting today. Hours are 9 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. We will have evening voting until 7 on July 30th and August 1st. The last day to request a ballot by mail is July 20th. We do have a Saturday vote, August 3rd from 10 to 2. In-office voting ends August the 5th at noon, and election day is August 6th. And canvass will be August the 12th.
8:30 a.m.
Yes.
All right, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I'll call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.